say the thing you're not supposed to say.
Let's talk about marriage.
They have like a 2-second rebound rate and you're back doing the next pain in the ass thing.
Parenting. Oh my gosh.
They have sucked the pretty right out of me. They treat me like it, and I do their laundry. Lucky me.
Sex.
I'm caught between two evils. I generally like to take the one I never tried.
Scary stuff like ghosts. I know it's totally out of left field, but just go with me on this.
Boo, you whore.
Love.
I give you what you need. That's all. I'm talking about taking care of each other the best you can. What's wrong with taking care of a woman? She takes care of you.
Friendships.
Wink and her necklace says best friends forever.
You sure you wanted to say forever? I don't think you guys will be best friends forever, no offense, but sometimes you grow apart. And maybe she'll find a new best friend. They end up doing everything together.
Okay. I got to do that again.
Was it not recording?
It was on a different microphone. When you unplugged it, it kicked it off. This was unplugged.
That was not. I didn't unplug that.
I didn't unplug it.
I didn't unplug it.
You swear?
I swear.
Okay. Okay, well, it was only 2 minutes and 30 seconds in. We're having an argument right now on this Monday because Ryan, I'm pretty sure, unplugged a piece of my equipment, which kicked us off the microphone, which means for 2.5 minutes we were talking and it was going nowhere. And thank God I had the mental fortitude to think I should check this. And thank God. Could you? And this has happened to us before. And nothing sucks harder than when you record something for 30 minutes and you're like, that wasn't bad. And then you go and realize it didn't record at all. That's a pain that's hard to explain.
Why are you blaming me for
and I'm going to tell you why I'm blaming you.
Okay.
Because you don't like any light source at all. Okay. If there is a light source, you must extinguish it. I could have like a little night light and he will go around at night and unplug the night lights. He's just so crazy when it comes to unplugging things. And so my board that I operate off of was unplugged.
Okay.
And I'm not pointing fingers, but you are literally the only person that unplugs things. Would you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? It might have been me because there's also a giant neon sign next to it that for some reason you feel the need to have on 24 hours a day.
But it's a neon sign.
It's a giant neon sign.
Oh, stop it.
But when you have 1,000 giant neon signs in the house,
I love neon signs so much.
You just leave on all the time.
I actually put one in Murphy's room a couple days ago and you were honest with me in that moment. You go, there's another neon sign. And I said, yeah, isn't that cute? And he goes, I think neon signs are tacky and I don't like them.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, damn, shots fired. So I just assume it was you that came in at some point.
Probably.
Maybe you were drunk. Probably not. That doesn't happen. Which I have to say, I want to start today's episode of the podcast by thanking my friends at Wilbur's Total Beverage, located in Fort Collins off of College. You guys, I had a sangria party. I know I've been talking about it, but I did it. And I had some friends over. We all enjoyed some. I did 2 different kinds of sangria. And that's the great thing about Wilbur's Total Beverage. If you go in there, you're going to have so many different options to find exactly what you want and what your guests will want. And I'm going to tell you, I made a sangria that was light and it had peaches in it. And then I made a classic red velvet sangria and it had the fruit cut up and it was just... Everybody loves sangria. And so thank you so much to my friends at Wilbur's Total Beverage for supplying for my sangria party because it was a hit. And you know what? I actually had some drinks. Usually I'll have like 1 or 2. I had like 5. And I think that the secret to that was they were tiny cups. And so I thought, I'll get very dainty, very tiny little cups. And then you don't realize when you have had 4 or 5, you're like, oh man, that's a lot. And it was great. I had no inhibitions. I was walking around talking. I was making eye contact. I was making jokes. Honestly, I wish I could drink all the time, but that's just not even feasible in society. But like going tomorrow, I have to go to the airport. That gives me such anxiety. And I know how unhinged that sounds because why would driving to the airport give you anxiety? It's because I think of everything that could go wrong. Like, what if there's awkward silence? Or what if I get hit with the shit? Or what if I hit traffic? These are all things that I think about and think, oh my God. And then I worry about it. Then I think about it. Then I wake up in the middle of the night at 2 a.m. and I think, oh my God, what if log truck? And I just don't think that's normal, because you yourself, you'll go anywhere and you'll be fine. It doesn't even matter to you. You're like, yeah, okay, I'll go.
You know why? Because you'll figure it out.
I was reading a study. I'm just going to jump into this right now. And I know I will figure it out, but I just wish I weren't like a cat in a bathtub where I'm just like clenched at all times. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's actually a fair description of you.
It is. But I was reading a study that says, and I wanted to get your opinion on this. It says that the worst years of a person's life, and I feel like you're going to disagree because you're kind of one of those, everything's super, and you should never see it that way. But they say that the worst years of your life are starting at the age of 25 and ending at the age of 45. And that's a big chunk. Now, let me play this video, because I originally was like, geez, Louise, that's such a big chunk of your life to be miserable. But listen to this.
0 to 25 is usually pretty happy. 25 to 45 is what I call the shit gets real years. You have kids, you have economic stress. Someone you love a great deal gets sick and dies. Your parents, right? Life gets very hard, very fast, 25 to 45. And generally speaking, these are the least happy years. And then something wonderful happens, usually in your late 40s or early 50s. And that is you start recognizing the finite nature of life. Maybe you have some economic security. Maybe you've established relationships. You find joy in the mundane as you get older, and you get happier. And the happiest generation, the happiest age cohort, is the cohort that should be the least happy because they're not healthy, is old people.
And it's so much in that span of 20 years. And I could kind of see it. I wouldn't say it's because there are some things on that list where I'm like, wouldn't that make it the best years of your life? Like having children. But that is the hardest years. I wouldn't say these are the worst years. I would say these are the hardest years.
Maybe most stressful, I could see.
Yeah.
Right. But I wouldn't say that either. I mean, I've had these, 25 to having kids to making sure they're okay. Yeah, it's stressful, but I've had more stressful and worse years. Absolutely. I've had worse years than that.
But but you're kind of a special case. I mean, You grew up in a very unhealthy kind of way.
Sure.
And so your dad was very abusive. And so you are kind of, where I look at my childhood and I didn't have any of that baggage.
Yeah, but still, I even with the baggage that I had, I still had a great time as a kid in a lot of instances. And I think that's just me choosing to say, like, there are really good times at any time that are going on. Like as a kid, you mentioned, abuse and a bunch of other stuff as a kid growing up, but also some of my favorite memories in the world are from that time, like playing with my friends in the backyard and traveling on sports teams and doing all that stuff. Mm-hmm. And then I'd say the same thing with, having a career and trying to figure that out. And I'd say the same thing with having kids and trying to figure that out. It's like, oh my God, I think I'm going to fall down and die, but this is so great. I think I just kind of appreciate how hard things are sometimes.
I think that you have a magical way of looking at, like I said, of looking at things and saying, this is the greatest time. Any time will be the greatest time to you.
Yeah, I don't know. You know what the only bad time for me is? And I think you'll appreciate this and you'll probably just be like, oh, Jesus Christ, yes. When nothing is going on. When there's
I like that.
No. When there's like, being bored. I hate that.
This is where we're different. It being Monday, we were just in the weekend. I'm reading this book and I talked about it last week, the Idaho 4, about those kids that got murdered. Yeah. What a horror story that is. I would love nothing more than to sit in my outside egg chair and just read, maybe fall asleep for a little bit, wake up, read some more. It's like constant. Today he walks upstairs and he's like, there's a musky smell in the house. And I looked online on how to fix it. And I have to get up in the attic and I have to use bleach. And I'm like, what? I just want to read my book. And because you're like that, I have guilt about what I like to do, which is sit and read. You could not sit and read a book. I don't think I've ever seen you do that.
Well, no, I could read a book.
Well, I'm not saying you can't read.
No, I know. And I have books that I've read. I don't know. I choose to I want to physically be doing something all the time. I think you would agree with that.
I think you can agree that's a little hard on me because,
it is.
My God.
I know. I think the other day I told you, because our daughter, our youngest, is very much like me, right? That's my mini me. We are.
Yeah, it's exhausting, frankly.
And I looked at you and I said, I'm sorry. You married me and you had one just like me, and we're active and we index way on the active side. And I'm sorry, that's got to be hard for you. Like full throated, like not being facetious at all. That's got to be hard for you. And I apologize, and I know that we're on that side.
Now, here's where it gets hard for me.
Yeah.
It gets hard for me in a sense that I carry guilt about not being a 5K on Thanksgiving Day type of person. I'm just not. That's just not who I am. I could sit. I love it when it's snowing outside because it's cozy and I could sit and read my book and we could watch a movie. That's one thing that you do that I wouldn't expect you to be. You do like to sit and watch movies. That's surprising to me because you don't like to sit.
Well, some movies, and I think you would agree, it's also probably the same movies.
Yeah.
Like I'll watch like the same shows or movies.
Mm-hmm.
But not a ton. I mean, I think the only shows I ever watch when I'm exercising. I watch,
You're rewatching The Crown right now.
I am. That's really good.
Yeah. I see it once, I don't need to see it ever again.
Yeah, I get that. But
you watch the same shit over and over and over and over.
You know what I'll probably do after The Crown is
watch
done?
The West Wing again.
Right, I will.
I knew it.
I'll turn on. Because you know what? I get to exercise. I don't got to pay attention. I can just get my stuff done and it's on and it's very, very good.
I have to say that I will forever love an actor that you've probably seen, but you probably don't know his name in real life. And that actor is Bradley Whitford.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you why I get to this place. He's on the show West Wing, which, as we've covered before, it was a show that was on NBC probably 15 years,
more than that.
20 years ago.
20, 25 years ago.
So painful. Probably 20 years ago. And it's an Aaron Sorkin show. So the dialogue is very fast and it's very I'm blown away that these actors were able to memorize these scripts. It's shockingly crazy. Anyway, so there's an actor on it and he's the main guy on this show. And Ryan loves this show. So I kept looking on the app Cameo
to see if he would be on there.
See if anyone from the show West Wing to wish my husband a happy birthday. That's all I want to do.
Yeah.
And I just want to find anyone it could be. And there was nobody on this show or on the app Cameo. So I thought, and in case you don't know what Cameo is, just really quick, you can pay for like a D-list, C-list celebrity or sports person to, if you're into a reality show, odds are they're on Cameo, and for $50, they'll send you a message. So I just kept looking and going back. West Wing, that would be so great. And I could never find it. So I follow Bradley Whitford on Twitter and I sent him a message.
Yeah.
This was 2 or 3 months before your birthday. I sent him a message. I said, "Dear Bradley Whitford, my husband has seen The West Wing over 1,000 times. We just went to LA to see a panel that you were on about The West Wing. He is just the biggest fan. And I would love it if you would wish him a happy birthday, just like a video." Yeah. And I said, "I know you don't do paid Cameo things, but I'll donate to whatever charity you're on." He's actually on the Handmaid's Tale right now.
Yeah.
Anyway, so.
And for those, go ahead.
Well, so I don't hear from him. And I'm this guy's in Hollywood and he's doing all these crazy Hollywood things. And he's on a lot of different shows. Again, he's an actor where you're oh, he was on Billy Madison.
He was the bad guy in Billy Madison.
Yeah. But so anyway, Don't hear from him. And then it's like the eve of your birthday. And I thought, I'm going to give it one more chance. And so I go onto Twitter and I find him and I send him a message and I'm like, oh, I hate doing this again. But if you could find a couple minutes just to wish him a happy birthday. He doesn't know me from anybody. And I shit you not. I said, if you could wish my husband a happy birthday, that would mean so much to us. And
what did he do?
And I shit you not, he sent over
he sent a private video from like his dressing room, and he's doing some sort of play.
It was during the holidays, and he was doing in London. He was doing a play.
Yeah.
Not Scrooge, but what is that called?
I don't know.
Not It's a Wonderful Life.
Just keep saying.
What is it? Where's Scrooge?
It was actually
Scrooge.
Christmas Vacation.
It's Christmas Carol.
Okay, it was a Christmas Carol.
He was in that show.
And he was all Bradley Whitford personality, exactly like you think he would be.
A dreamboat.
And what happened?
I never in either video mentioned your actual name. I just said, could you send my husband? And so he was laughing and he said, this message is for Sadie's husband. And I hope one day to catch his actual name. And that ended up being the end.
Do you still have the video and the audio?
Let me see. Let me look really quick. Actually, I was able to track this down, which I can't believe I let it slip away where I couldn't find it. But here is the video. And it was a video. It wasn't just a recording, audio recording. It was an actual video. He was in between shows doing his play in London. And this is what he said. And I think I should get such major good wife points on this one.
Hey, Sadie's husband. This is Brad Whitford. Hi. Your wife neglected to tell me your name. But she did want me to wish you a happy birthday. So that's what I'm doing. I am weirdly between shows in a dressing room. But happy birthday. And I can't wait to learn your name. Okay. Have a good one. Bye.
Amazing dude, right?
It's actually the perfect video for him. And I just am upset that he didn't know my name. But you know what I didn't tell you? Or maybe I did tell you. He, because you must have tagged me in something or whatever.
Yeah.
He did send me a personal message saying, happy birthday, King.
You never told me that.
Yeah.
Well, maybe you did, and I don't remember.
Yeah.
He did. Yep. What did you say? Were you like, what?
Yeah.
I want everyone to think of that one celebrity. Maybe it's a sports person or maybe it's an actor or singer where if you had a personal exchange with them, it would titillate you. And this was titillating to you.
He's the man.
He's so good. So good. So anyway, so back to the fact that life sucks between 25 and 45. I don't even know how we got on the other topic.
I don't know. Birthday, whatever. But I think that, I don't know. I think it's hard.
Yeah.
I don't think it's the worst. I think it's hard. But I do think that if you asked people later in life what their favorite times were, their favorite ages were, would be when they had all their kids in the house.
You know, that's what people say. Like my parents love it when everybody is together. Mm-hmm. And I hear that a lot from older people who are like, it's just the best when you have your kids. But do you also think that's because they don't have kids in the house and they haven't for a while? So they're remembering that nostalgia.
They remember all the good things. But nostalgia is basically you don't have the worry because you already passed it.
Yeah.
And when you have the kids, you have the worry. Right. Because you already, hindsight's 2020. I knew what I'm doing. Okay, whatever, past that. You don't have the worry. And I think that everybody that I know, unless there was something awful going on, it's if they could have their kids as little kids, that's what they would want.
Oh, yeah. No, I would agree. Well, I would. But again, are we thinking about this from a standpoint of your children? You know, because I'll see a baby and I'll be like, oh, look at that baby.
Babies are hard.
Would I want to go back to when our kids were babies? Oh my God, no.
Speaking, because we have kids in different ages, I will say my favorite ages are kind of where Murph's at right now, man. She's just
Can I tell you something that really
Okay.
I thought was really profound with her? And maybe it was just profound with me. Maybe it's not profound at all. But, you know, I'm like a raging hypochondriac, right?
Sure.
To where even when the doctor's like, no, you're fine. I'm like, no. I have heard stories where the doctor didn't catch it and they die. And so I have no faith in anything. And that's a really shitty thing to feel, right?
Sure.
Well, it's self-imposed. And so tonight Murphy goes, oh, my stomach doesn't feel good. And I said, okay. And she goes, will you feel it? So I pushed on her stomach and she goes, does it feel normal? And I said, yeah, it feels normal. And she goes, oh, okay. It was like I gave her this peace.
Yeah.
And I don't want to spoil it by saying like, but I'm not a fucking doctor. I don't know. Maybe something is wrong. You may have a twisted colon or something, you know, but it's like how innocent she was to just fully believe me and be at peace with that.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if that's something that's, you know, interesting to anybody, but it was so sweet. And I thought, God, I want that level of peace where I believe it when somebody says it. Is that too deep?
No, it's not too deep.
Or not deep at all, I guess.
No, it's not too deep. And like, I don't know. Today she's still at that age where she's 8, right? She just turned 8 and she's becoming more of a person, which is fun to see, and having her own personality. But she still, when she's hurt, she wants me to pick her up.
Yeah. It's kind of that magical time.
When we're in a parking lot, she wants to hold my hand.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's just like, and we still get to do fun stuff together. I'm not wiping anybody's butt. I can tell her.
Give me a couple years, honey.
Yeah.
You'll be on butt wiping duty.
Right.
You know what? I'm going to knock on wood here that I hope that's not the case.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't know. Favorite times. Yeah. We're smack dab in the middle of what you said would be worst times, but it's all that's
a big chunk of life.
It's a big chunk of life
to say like,
and I could look at every single couple year period from 25 to 45, not 45 yet, and go, that was cool. That was great.
Yeah.
That was great.
Right.
Yeah. It's more stressful, but it was still great. And I'm also somebody that really I enjoy things being hard because I get to figure it out. I get to say, all right, here we go. Let's do it. It kind of lowers my blood pressure when things are hard. And I think you're the opposite where it raises your blood pressure.
I don't like it at all.
Yeah.
Honestly.
But I don't know if that's a byproduct of how I grew up or whatever, but it's just sort of like, all right, things are hard. Here we go.
Yeah, but I would say most of humanity tries to shy away when things get really hard. That's hard. That's why it's hard because it's hard. People don't like hard.
That's the best when you figure out hard things. When you figure out something hard.
Like Wordle.
Exactly like Wordle. When Wordle's really hard and you get it, you're like, this is amazing.
I'm the smartest person in the world.
Right. And I think that's true with life in general. And just things are hard and you figure them out and you jump in. Let's go. Hey, speaking of jumping in, can I tell you something that we haven't talked about that I was thinking about the other day?
Tell me.
We went up to Steamboat.
Yeah.
Steamboat Springs, and there was a waterfall and a river that came off the waterfall and whatnot. And there's people kind of playing around the river. And river, I mean like boulders and creeks you can kind of jump on. But it's still.
Yeah, it's pretty serious.
It's still got water that'll rush you away.
Yeah.
Right. And we're there and there's, I don't know, 20, 25 people down there.
Yeah, right on the water, which I said, this is unnecessary. Why are we in the water?
And half of them were kids.
Yeah.
Some of them small kids.
Like super small.
Like one was 3 years old. And if he got caught by the river, it would take him.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's actually
what
happened.
And I'm far enough away where the kid gets knocked off his feet.
I'd say this kid was maybe 2 years old in the river, which, you know, he's got little legs. So where older kids can be, he cannot.
And I would say
the mom was like off in space.
To give it depth, a 2 or 3 year old in waist deep water.
Yeah.
Right. In this part.
Moving water.
Mm-hmm. And trying to make his way a little bit and mom just letting him go. Right.
Right.
And the kid falls and is like underwater, above water, underwater, above water, screaming.
You could see
fear,
the raw fear that this kid had. It was so bizarre to see. And like, there was a moment of like, is this really happening? Is this good?
Well, I jumped behind him in the river. Right?
And the mom was still like, scoo doo doo doo.
All 25 other people just looked on, pointed. Hey, kids in the river, kids in the river.
And I'm going to tell you, I think I was one of those people.
Everyone just literally pointed. And I'm like, do something about it.
You're a hero.
No, I'm not a hero, but I'm saying like, that's just part of it. It's just like, when something's happening, do something about it.
But it's like almost human nature to not trust your brain. Like, is this really happening? Is that this kid like, it's really hard to explain, but that made me so mad. And when you get really scared, like say your kid runs off and you can't find him and you have that moment of like
panic,
you're panicked and then you find him and you're like, I'm going to kill you. And 5 minutes ago you were running like a crazy person. And I don't know. I think when I saw that, it just made me panic. And I was like, we are leaving this place.
Yeah.
If I would have seen this little kid float down the damn river and then never be found again, that would be haunting for the rest of my life.
Oh, everyone there. Yeah.
I mean, it was horrible to see. So I don't know. It really pissed me off. And I was like, get out of the river.
The kids got out real quick and we ended up leaving. But the mom was just sort of like, and part of that could have been, her life of hard knocks parenting or whatever. But I'm like, the kid was drowning in a river.
You said it perfectly. You said that is a core memory
that kid's going to
have. And I believe it. The look on his face was like danger. And it was just, it's just bizarre. Anyway.
But I think that woman is in that stage of stressful.
I don't know. She didn't seem too stressed.
Yeah, she didn't. She
really didn't. Even when, the kid was upright again. It was like, oh, geez.
But at 50, she's not going to have that moment. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Her kids are going to be fine and grown. And she's not going to have that. So I could see hard being that it's stressful. But still, we got to go play in the friggin' river in Colorado with the kids. And I like those things.
It was a dream come true, sliding down wet rocks with children. And
see, this is where.
No, I liked it. I did like it. It was very calming. It was serene. And that's all the time we have for today. Again, want to give a big thank you to locally owned and operated, family owned and operated Wilbur's Total Beverage. Also, Christiana Salon Spa. Go to ChristianaSalonSpa.com. And then if you need something done with your garage door, why, by golly, garage door service and sales, they're there to help you out. They are also family owned and operated. Every sponsor that this podcast has is family owned and locally owned. And I think that's pretty darn cool. Thanks for listening, and we'll be back tomorrow.